What's up guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about diet and how we approach it. I see a lot in this community that is plagued with eating disorders, be it counting calories, eating carnivore, vegan, keto, or the anabolic frankenfoods with 1,000 ingredients, which have 400 protein powders and the rest are sweeteners.
The first thing you're going to want to do is put in a scoop of protein. Then you're going to want to add about a cup of almond milk to the mix. Then you're going to add some protein, and then I usually throw in a whole banana. Then we're going to add some protein. Now what I like to do, just for a little bit of taste, is add some protein.
And I believe that it's very important, especially for my younger audience, to have a regular guide just telling them, hey, you don't need to eat like this to gain muscle. You can eat like a regular human being, that's fine. So, especially myself, that I went through a lot of pitfalls when I was younger with diet, which I think is going to result in further insight on how to avoid these mistakes. So without further delay, we can start. The first thing I want to say is that diet is very individual. It is fairly easy for the vegans to point out that milk and eggs and say, hey, it's going to give you cancer and a heart attack. Then we have the carnivores who are going to tell you that if you eat like soy, you're going to turn into a woman. Or the keto people that are going to tell you that if you eat like a bowl of pasta, you're going to spontaneously combust into flames and turn into ash and die. I believe it's fairly simple to say that this is bullshit. So what I'm going to say is that the same food will agree with some people, and then it's going to be a cause of risk for other people. It depends a lot on genetics. It depends a lot on your lineage. Don't try to follow authorities, be it gurus or studies or whatever, telling you what is good, what is bad for you. Experiment by yourself, try out different meals and see how you feel. And based off that, check to see which foods agree with you and which don't. In terms of calories, something I wanted to talk about is that, speaking of experimentation, is that TD calculators are fairly inaccurate. They're going to either overshoot or undershoot your calories. For me, that I'm very fidgety, I have a high non-exercise activity thermogenesis. They tend to undershoot my calories by 700 approximately. And then for people that are going to be less hyperactive as I am, they're going to undershoot them by a lot as well. So what I would recommend, again, is experimentation, and also a good way of having like a general baseline is to track what you're currently eating, see how many calories you're eating, and then based off that, you can make your calculations. I won't recommend for most people to have counting calories as a permanent thing. I would say it's good to have it as a temporary thing to familiarize yourself with how much food you're eating, to be able to quantify that amount of food you're eating. Also to know what calorie density is, energy density in general, right? Your fats, your carbs, your protein, to be able to look at a meal and say if it's going to be very energy dense or if it's going to be very low calorie, and so on and so forth. But eventually you want to move on to intuitive eating, which is going to be way better for most people. If you're a hard gainer, I believe that if you want to bulk, which most people should be doing unless you're obese, I believe that if you want to bulk, you should be counting calories. Just make sure you're eating enough. Once you have like fixed your appetite, which is something you can work on, you can then move on to intuitive eating as well. But if you're just a normal guy and or you have a big appetite as I do, you can just start off by doing intuitive eating. What I would recommend is eat until you're full, and don't stuff yourself and don't starve yourself, okay? Now, in terms of macronutrients, what I want to talk about is that some people are going to process carbs better than fats, vice versa, and some people are going to be better in the middle. You have to find your sweet spot of fats and carbs. I would recommend fats, keep it at least 0.4 to 0.6 grams per pound body weight, just to make sure you're getting enough fat to make hormones in your body. And then you can fill in the rest with carbs or fat, however you like it. In terms of protein, the most you're going to ever need if you have a balanced diet of animal and plant products is going to be 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Now, if you're eating mostly plants, I would say go a little bit higher, like 1 gram or 1.1 gram. I think that's going to be great. And if you eat a lot of animal products, you can go a little bit lower. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to promote longevity, so go ahead. You're not going to see a lot of impact off of that. Micronutrients, I'm going to tell you that you don't have to worry too much about that as long as you're eating from a lot of the food groups. As long as you have like a varied diet, you're going to be practically covered. Just make sure to have a lot of food rotation. Time restrictive eating. I'm going to say that some people are going to see benefits from it and it's going to fit their schedule perfectly. Like in my case, I'm not a big, even though I look like Walter Jr., I am not a big breakfast guy. I prefer to just have lunch and a small snack and then go to bed. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not a big dinner guy either. But for some people, they need their breakfast, they need the lunch, and they need their dinner. So intermittent fasting is not going to work for them. And for some people, they might even prefer to fast a whole day and then eat the next day a bigger meal. And I think that's just fine. Find a meal distribution that is going to be comfortable for you. The same goes if you go through the other extreme. You'll see a lot of roided out bodybuilders trying to eat like 6 times a day to maximize protein utilization, right? And it's going to be very stupid. In my opinion, it's going to be a waste of time. Just focus on eating enough protein. That's way more important, and enough calories. The amount of meals you have is not going to be that relevant, if at all. Something I want to add is a section on basically superfoods. I believe that it is fairly easy to fall for marketing. There are no superfoods, just regular ass food. There's nothing magical about like kale or about like beef liver or whatever. They're just foods with nutrients, with micronutrients and macronutrients, and that's it. So don't fall for the marketing. There's no such thing as a superfood. Then the same goes with supplements. You don't need supplements, and I'm not going to tell you to buy supplements because I believe that's pretty stupid. Just make sure to eat enough of everything and you're going to be a-okay. And also that there are no bad foods. If you want to include here and there, like, I don't know, pastry, your sweets, a bag of chips, whatever, go ahead. I don't have an issue with that. I don't think it's going to impact your health long term, as long as it is in moderation. You shouldn't be eating like only chips, right? You shouldn't be eating only like pastries. You should be, even though croissant might be happy if you do that, you're going to face some health problems. What I will say is that if you have an overall healthy diet and you met all of your micronutrient requirements and all of your macronutrient requirements as well, like your proteins and your fats, and you want to squeeze in an extra croissant here and there, then go ahead. I don't have a problem with it. So that's going to be today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.